Okay, also der Richter ist der Meinung, dass Herr Wayne schuldig ist. Unschuldig, nicht schuldig. Schuldig wäre doof, aber unschuldig. Does the prosecution have any objection? None, my lord. Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. Es fühlt sich noch nicht so an, als ob es zu Ende ist. You've proven Professor Harebraine's innocence. Without further ado then, the adjudication. Unless the prosecution or defense have any other matters to discuss. I don't know. This doesn't feel quite right. Why did Dr. Seiss suddenly admit to it like that? Das ist auch eine gute Frage, ja. Is everything alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Like you said before, the way the trial is set to end now, the judge will certainly deliver a verdict of not guilty. But is that really what we want? What the defense should be pushing for now is immediate adjudication. Further testimony. Further testimony, würde ich sagen.
Objection!
The defense objects to the trial ending at this time, my lord. I beg your pardon. We demand one final testimony. What? You do realize I'm about to adjudicate in favor of your client, I presume. What are you playing at now, my Nipponese friend? Why would you want to obstruct the conclusion of the trial at this point? No defense lawyer in his right mind would do that. Mr. Naruhodo, what exactly are you thinking? The truth, the whole truth, and a way to bring it all out into the open. Right. Yes, in hindsight. Ah, yes, one word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial this afternoon, you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Das ist es also, was Sherlock gemeint hat. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes knew. He must have deduced that this would happen. Yes, I'm here in court to advocate for my client, and to secure an acquittal. Obviously. But that's not all. I believe that I have a duty to the court, to pursue the whole truth of the case, until every last detail is laid bare. And that is why the defense calls for further testimony from Dr. Seiss. Testimony from me? About what? About the nature of your collaboration with Mr. Ennard Ströber. Ha! In case it escaped your attention, I've already admitted to everything I did. The whole truth has already been revealed. So stop wasting everyone's time. Ah! As his lordship made it very plain, your client will get the acquittal you wanted for him. There's simply no point protracting this business further with another tedious cross-examination.
Objection!
Pray forgive my careless handling of that hallowed bottle. I slipped. That's what you call it. What is your objection, Lord Van Zieks? The prosecution also calls for supplementary testimony from the witness. Don't be stupid! If there's more to this case than has yet come to light, then I will join my learned friend in pursuing the facts until the bitter end. You will what? Lord Van Zieks. This is most irregular to say the least. However, as the prosecution also calls for it, I will uphold the request. Dr. Seiss, you will testify for the court, explaining the full extent of your involvement in the murder apparently committed by Mr. Dweber. Very well. Witness testimony, okay. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork when the note tucked inside its jacket. The actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage. The body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to dress the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago, the state secret of the highest level, I had to protect it. So I was right. The stage and the machine were all specially designed for the deception. So it seems, and all it meticulously prepared, you did well to see through it. You are a very shrewd boy. So kind of you to say. Warte, was ist shrewd? Ist das frech? Shrewd. Schlau, gerissen, okay. And what about this autopsy report then? All I did was record the location of the body as being on the crystal tower instead of under the stage. That's all. That's a terrible corruption. Only my team were aware of the deceit, and then only under my explicit instructions. Nobody else at Scotland Yard knew anything about it, I assure you. We must be thankful for small mercies, I suppose. Well, I believe that testimony has clarified everything. There's no particular need for a cross-examination, I would say. No, I disagree. I can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. Just look at that expression on Dr. Seiss' face. It's the defense's right to cross-examine any witness following testimony. What is it about you Japanese that makes you all so doggedly persistent? Very well. If you so desire, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay. Cross-examination. The waxwork plot. It all began at the scene when I saw the waxwork and the note tucked inside the jacket.
Hold it!
From what you described before, it sounds like the note was anonymous. Did you have any idea of who was behind it? There are very few people in the know about what really happened 10 years ago to start with. But anyway, I'd never heard of this engineer. So no, I had no idea. Yet despite not knowing who was behind the plan, you went along with it. I had no choice. Protecting the professor's secret was my only concern. But the horse has bolted now, and the stable door will never shut again. Scotland Yard's reputation will be immeasurably damaged as a result of all this. Yes, thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm well aware of that. So as I understand it, what you found in the birdcage was the waxwork model. Where, then, was the victim's body? Okay, the actual body of the victim, as indicated in the note's instructions, was beneath the experimentation stage.
Hold it!
So you knew about the special construction of the stage used to carry out this trick then? It was quite obvious what had happened with the victim and the waxwork. And you switched the two over, didn't you? In other words, you recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the crystal tower, and the waxwork. I wrapped it and sent it by carriage to the specified address at the specified time. And why were you given such directions? Presumably so it could be recovered by Dweber and returned to Madame Tussauds. I see. And then you put the birdcage back on the experimentation stage. Yes, although someone obviously made a mistake about which cage should go where. I thought I made it perfectly clear to the team, but still. I suppose you were focused on the victim's body, that being a more important detail. Okay. Ich möchte das nochmal kurz durchlesen. Einen Moment. Hold it. So you know about the special construction of the stage. It was quite obvious that it had happened with the victim and the Wachsfiguren. You switched the two over. You recorded the victim's body as having been discovered in the Crystal Tower. Wrapped it and sent it by the carrier to a specified address at a specified time. Okay. Okay, the body had to be arranged in certain ways to implicate the defendant, which was my job.
Hold it!
When you say arranged, I presume you mean with this. Yes, the instructions in the engineer's notes said something along the lines of fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Terrorbrain alone could have killed Assman. So, you mean that was you doing? I fetched Terrorbrain's ridiculous screwdriver from the stage and took it with me, alone, to the abyss under the stage where the birdcage had fallen. Alone, Doctor. I didn't feel it would be appropriate to involve anybody else in that particular part of the deception. Okay. There was a void under the stage where I found the birdcage lying in the dirt. I approached it, leaned down, and slowly opened it up. Then, I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. And then you noticed it in your fake autopsy report as a fictitious cause of death. Exactly. So, the actual cause of death was the trauma resulting from the 30 foot drop. Okay, also doch Genickbruch. My word. What is it, Mr. Sato? Something about Dr. Sai's last statement is playing on my mind, that's all. Yes, mine too. Dr. Scythe! There's really no need to shout. I can hear you perfectly well. The defense calls for you to add what you just said to your formal testimony. Oh, which part? What I wanted to supplement her testimony with is the real cause of death, what she did to the victim. Puh. So real, ich weiß es nicht. Name OD Assman. Who in the chest appears the heart. From considerable height. And what she did to the victim. What she did to the victim. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest appears the heart inflicted by a sharp implement. Und was hat sie gesagt? Komplott leaned down and slowly opened it up. Plunged into the man's chest. Komplott leaned down and slowly opened it up. Took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. Ich speichere mal kurz. What she did to the victim. How you stabbed Mr. Assman in the chest. That part. Fine, if that's what you want. But there's really no need to point. The prosecution concurs. Very well. You will supplement your testimony now, witness. If you wish, my lord. I stood over the victim's corpse where it lay in the toppled cage and planted the screwdriver into the chest. into the chest that pierced the art, inflicted by a sharp implement. Met the screw of the sound poking through the grill in the base of what remained of the Knies machine. It's a very distinctive handle. Okay. Der Schraubenzieher vielleicht?
Objection!
Nein. Shooting about seems odd, doesn't it? Load. Neu. Dann den Autopsy Report vielleicht? Present.
Objection!
Auch nicht. Sorry, something about the last segment seems odd, doesn't it? Bla bla bla. Oh Mann. Ich verschwende, glaube ich, zu viel Zeit mit sowas. They stood over the victim's skull where they lay in the top cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. So it was you who stabbed Assman, who is this? Yes, far easier than dissection, I assure you. No precision required. What a welcome change. The victim died instantly from a snapped neck. All I did was carry out the instructions that I'd been given. As unflinchingly as ever, no doubt. I imagine you didn't bat an eyelid when you drove the weapon into his body. There was no need to bat my eyelids. And what else did you do to twist the facts? Remind the court, why don't you? If you wish. I enlisted the help of the entire forensic investigation team to address the scene appropriately. The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret at the highest level. I had to protect it.
Hold it!
The entire team, in perverting the course of justice. My team consists of the very best investigators there are. I demand loyalty from all members. We operate on a code of chivalry of sorts. You aid and abet a murderer, commit perjury, and dare to talk of chivalry? Chivalry. Ritterlichkeit, okay. It was a matter of priorities. What? Nothing was more important than protecting the secret of the professor. My team did what was necessary without losing sight of the primary goal. I consider their conduct exemplary. Don't concede the point, Mr. Naruhodo. You mustn't let her win. I need a lawyer. I take that silence as tacit acceptance. Now, can we move on? The truth about the execution 10 years ago is a state secret of the highest level. I had to protect it.
Hold it!
But at what cost? Faith in Scotland Yard is going to suffer a terrible blow as a result of this. And your precious secret is out now anyway. Yes, as you say. And I take full responsibility. Blow me down, Dr. Thies! Surely there was some other way you could have protected the secret. No, there really wasn't. I've done my utmost, believe me. In many ways, I respect your determination. Whew, I nearly froze in that cold stare as she said that. I do believe she was being genuine though, Mr. Naruhodo. So that's her story. She's admitted everything and revealed her full involvement in the crime. I do wonder if there could really be much more to it. Well, I don't know, but I just have a feeling. Do you, Mr. Naruhodo? The truth is, I find it strange too. How those two are reacting to this in completely opposite ways, I mean. Yes, exactly. For some reason, I feel sure they are still trying to hide something. It all began, blah blah. The body had to be arranged. I stood over the victim's skull where it lay in the toppled cage and plunged the screwdriver into the chest. Into the chest. Das stimmt ja. Oder nicht? Können wir nochmal das andere Statement vielleicht bekommen?
Hold it!
You mean what you did with this, correct? I was merely carrying out the engineer's instructions. In his words, fabricate some evidence to make it clear that Hairbrain alone could have killed Asman. And so you went without any of your team to where Asman had fallen. That's right, yes. I leaned down over the birdcage and opened it up. Then I took the screwdriver in both hands and plunged it into the man's chest. After that, it was simply a matter of recalling the stab wound as the cause of death on the autopsy report. The real cause of death being the fall, of course. I'm sure there's something here in this testimony. You know, if you think it would be appropriate, I'm sure you could ask Dr. Size to change the supplementary testimony she gave before. What should I ask her to do with the statement she added? Have her change it. Dr. Size, what you said before about the real cause of death. I believe that may be significant, so could you change your supplementary statement to explain that instead? Very well. The actual cause of death was a neck trauma Asman suffered from the 30-foot fall.
Hold it!
You are quite sure of that? It was a result of a broken neck. Yes, as a professional, that was more than apparent. You'd never know just by looking at the photograph of the victim though, would you? No, that's very true. Obviously not. Which is precisely why coronas are needed to determine the actual facts. Yes, assuming they can be trusted. Nicer attack. There's no point calling your assessment into question without evidence. Let's get back to the testimony. Very well. The actual cause of death was a neck trauma Asman suffered. Aber kann das sein? Gucken wir mal. The wooden cage was used for the demonstration. It crashed down with the victim inside into the crystal tower, causing damage to its base.
Objection!
9, okay. The defense would have to object to the last statement, my lord. Vielleicht dann die Waffe hier? Weil es im Gitter gefunden wurde?
Objection!
Auch nicht! Was? That last statement would seem to be at odds somehow with the evidence. It's your task comes to explain the somehows to the court, not the other way around. Aua. Hmm. 30-foot fall. Killer's autopsy report.
Objection!
Auch nicht. Ich bin mal wieder lost. Alles klar. Aber was könnte es denn sein? Ich habe keine Ahnung.